This is a pretty hard week for seniors, and everybody just found out that school, we're not going back, we're just doing e-learning all the way. And it's hard to describe what's going on. Say probably the most relatable thing is an athlete training for sports and they get an injury and all of a sudden they're knocked out of their season, and super frustrating. And a lot of those experiences are life-shaping experiences where people look back on their lives like, yeah, I remember when I was a senior and I tore my ACL, and like I had a scholarship going and just like everything fell apart. And those are some times that are really an opportunity to do some self-searching. And there's an example in the Bible of Joseph. I don't know if you're familiar with like Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, but Joseph, when he was growing up, he had a real gift for administration and management, and his brothers despised him for it, and they sold him into slavery. He went to Egypt, and at that point, Joseph had a choice. Like, how does he interpret this horrible circumstance where, he was doing what he was supposed to, and life just turned on him? Did God forget about him? Was God not faithful? Like, what is going on here? And he chose to trust God and to continue to do his best in the circumstances that he was given. He faithfully used his gifts of management and administration to serve his master, who bought him in Egypt, the best of his ability, and he did a great job. And so, what was the result of that? Did he get his freedom because he was such an amazing slave? No, actually, his wife started trying to seduce him, and he said, "No, I'm not going to do that because that wouldn't be honoring to God." And what did he get for his obedience and his trusting God? He got framed for rape and falsely accused of that and was thrown in prison. Like, what in the world? Like, another blow. Like, what do we do with that? Or like, I'm trying to do the right thing and life just turns on me. And Joseph's response was, I'm going to continue to trust God, and I'm going to serve in the best way I know how. And he was put in charge of people in the jail. He also had a gift for interpreting dreams, which he faithfully continued to do and gave God credit for. He is the one who gives the meaning of dreams. And through all this circumstance, you look around and say, where is God in all of this? And God was using all of these horrible circumstances to set Joseph up to be the second in command of the strongest nation in the world at that time. And he also used these circumstances to allow Joseph to save his family from starvation. And so looking at the circumstances in our lives, no one would have guessed in the spring of 2020 we would be in these quarantine lockdown, and like all the things that we had planned are just crumbling before us. And what is our response to that? Is it like, or I can't believe it, I'm just giving up, or is this an opportunity to continue to say, God is still in control, and that I will continue to serve God with the gifts that he has given me to the best of my ability. And it's going to look different. Joseph didn't expect to be a slave. He didn't expect to be a prisoner. But even in the midst of these horrible circumstances, he chose, to trust God.